You are talking about food, and it's a very amazing domain because I read a lot of few things about food, and it is a domain where I read very opposite point of view. So it's very hard to know what we have to do. There is some things that everybody is agreed about vegetable, but for example, somebody says you don't have to eat meat,
Meat?
meat or milk.
Right. And it's
What do you think? What are the main advices, main rules you have to follow to have a good alimentation?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because I read information all the time, and a lot of times I'm behind on reading my information. So what happens is it builds up. So I will keep and read the same publications, a newspaper, like 5 in a row, and they will be giving me conflicting information. I'm like 3 months ago, they said, drinking milk's great for you. 3 months later, milk's not good for you. So it's very, very confusing. And so I completely agree with you. And I find that a lot in many different categories. So what I've learned and what works for me is what's right for me may not be right for you. So that's like with my clients, why I ask them questions and I get them to figure it out for themselves. Because everybody is extremely different. And I cannot tell you what to eat and what not to eat. Only you can tell yourself because you know how your body works best. For example, for me, I know when to eat meat during the day. If I eat meat in the late night, it makes me really sleepy and kind of tired. It's better for me to eat it at lunch because it gives me energy for the rest of the day. It's better for me to eat more vegetables in the evening. But I have a client who's the exact opposite. If he eats meat in the day, it makes him extremely lethargic and he doesn't want to work out. So I can't tell him what to do. He can tell himself and then stick to it. A lot of people don't listen to their bodies and then they're not consistent with what they learn. There's certain foods that like soy, I can't eat because it gives me a stomach ache. Now that I know that, I'm not going to eat it. But soy may be great for you, and you may feel like you get really good results for it. So that's why I don't tell anybody anything to do. I get them to learn about their body. In any magazine, any article is not going to be able to tell you what to do. They're speaking from their own knowledge and what works best for them. And they say, oh my God, you got to work out before in the morning, first thing in the morning within the first 30 minutes. That's great for some people, but it's not better for others. Some people, it's much better for the workout in the evening. They have much more energy. They sleep much better. Some clients they're like, oh, hey, I want to try working out in the evening. They come work out with me and they're like, at 2 in the morning, I'm wide awake. So for that person, it's better for them to work out in the morning. Some people in the middle of the day, they're really tired. So I like, hey, try working out. They're like, oh, I work out the whole rest of the afternoon. I do great work. I get a lot of stuff done. I have much more energy because I got that workout in. So they have to teach themselves.
So the main key you are giving it is to learn to listen to yourself.
Exactly.
To see inside yourself and what your body are saying to you. That's right.
And to be quiet. You have to be quiet to listen to all this information because there's a lot of noise around, especially now with Facebook, with Twitter, with all the worlds we live in. There's a lot of information. And so what I teach people is spend quiet time by themselves, listen to their own voice, and then move forward accordingly.
Cool. I imagine that there is some of food you don't have to eat. For example, what do you think about sugar?
Well, I love desserts. So, and I don't tell people not to eat sugar because I like it and it's something that I enjoy. I don't have any advice, any vices except I will eat a dessert. I don't eat a dessert every day of the week, but if I go to a dinner party and there's a chocolate souffle on the thing, I will definitely finish it.
Okay, but do you have a rule, maybe one cake per week, or?
For me personally, it all depends on how I've eaten the rest of the week. If I've eaten really well, maybe 2 days a week, but never really more than that. And for most people, it's probably 1 day a week, but it also depends on my goals. I don't need to lose weight. So I need to put on weight because I get so much exercise already. I don't have a car, I bike everywhere. I exercise with my clients. So when we're working out every day, I need to eat a lot of calories over the day. So I'm a little bit different. So I have to know my body and how many calories I need. So each person, as we were saying before, has to know their body. Some people can't really eat sugar at all. They need to eat more like fruit, because that's going to make them feel better. Sugar isn't very effective for their body types. It makes them extremely lethargic. Some of it makes nauseous. So for me, what works may not work for somebody else. But most people, I tell them that, there's one cheat day. You definitely need to enjoy something that is not going to be perfect for you.
Okay, I have a question in mind because we are saying about we have to listen to ourselves, but how makes the difference between I really need that and it's just for I don't know how to say that in English. For example, sometimes you need to eat, and sometimes you just have a desire. Do you understand what I mean? The difference between really listen to yourself and
I understand completely. What I tell people, if they're unsure what's talking to them in their head, to have a glass of water, have a big glass of water, and in 5 minutes, your answer will come to you.
Okay.
Yeah, don't eat right away. Don't just eat because, I'm not quite sure. Oh, that's right there, I'm gonna eat it. Have a big glass of water, because most people are dehydrated. And so that's, David, while we're on that, I wanna bring that up. Most people don't drink enough water every single day, so they have problems. And so with my clients, when they come to a session, I ask them how much water they've had throughout the day, and you need to
What do you advise?
Half your body weight in ounces every day. So if I weigh 200 pounds, let's say, half of that's 100, I personally need to drink 100 ounces of water every single day, scattered throughout the day. If I worked out for an hour, that's 10 more ounces.
Cool. So if you drink every hour, you will not have the same desire to eat.
Exactly. And it also curbs your, cravings a lot of times, and it also gives you, a lot of people just eat because they have a lot of stuff on their mind and it's just a habit and it's there. So drinking a glass of water instead, gives you a little gap right there between doing it and thinking about it. And once you have that gap, sometimes you're really not even hungry, and a couple minutes later you didn't even want it.
Yes, and just this morning we were at a shop with a lot of fruit, and you can buy a lot of things, fruit, vegetables, but also chocolate. And I know it's better to eat fruit. I bought fruits, but during all the time we were in the shop, I have only in mind the chocolate, the sugar, and it's hard because I'm very attracted by everything. Maybe it's bad for my body, and maybe I will eat only two times my chocolate in the week. But how can I do the rest of the week to focus on the vegetable and fruits?
Well, do you think that you deserve to be in amazing shape?
For me,
yes. Is that a priority?
My priority is to have a lot of energy and strength to become more and more successful in my business.
Okay, so that's your number one priority?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to have the body that matches up so that you can do that, correct? Because you can't do that if you don't have the right energy in your body to accomplish what you want to accomplish.
I believe that if I have more energy and more strength in my body, I will have more impact when I do a conferences or a speech in French and maybe in English too. And yes, I would like. I know I have a very good level in my mental, and I would like to have the same level in my body to equal the two things.
So they're balanced.
To balance the two things, yes.
So when you go eat, let's say you had desserts 4 days, when you go eat those desserts, does it make you sleepy or does it give you the energy you need?
I have a lot of energy, so I have some difficulties to measure the difference when I eat vegetables or maybe chocolate. Because
you have so much energy all the time?
Yes, I'm a little bit, maybe, I don't know how to say in English, hyper energetic. I don't know.
Right.
How to, yes. When I was children, I had
a lot of energy.
So it's hard for me to measure the difference.
Gotcha.
I believe only on what I read, so I want to have a lot of energy, so I eat vegetables and fruits, but um,
But when you eat, let's say you went for a whole week and didn't have any sort of sugar, at the end of the week, does the sugar still taste as good?
um, yes, I
It
think
still
so.
tastes as good. So what I would recommend for you is to have a couple pieces of fruit before you treat yourself to that dessert. Because a lot of times you may not really want the dessert. At the end of that, you may still want it. But sometimes the fruit, having a banana, having an apple, that satisfies your craving, and then you don't crave the other. But if you still do crave the sweet after that, if it's 2 or 3 days a week, I say you're more than welcome to go ahead and have it. That's what I do personally. Because
Okay.
sometimes I will, see a dessert in my refrigerator and a cupcake or something that somebody's given me as a gift. And I'll be like, I want that, but then I have some amazing fruit here and I'll go eat the fruit and then I forgot the cupcake was in there, you know. So that's kind of how it works. But then some days I'll have the fruit and then an hour later I'm like, oh, that cupcake looks really good. I'll have it. Do you know what I mean? But I know if I had it, I've got to do something exercise-wise to compensate for doing that.
Cool. And we were talking about water. Do you think we can drink water during the dinner? Because some books say you don't have to read in the same time you eat.
Right, and for certain people, that's right. And certain days, my body tells me to do that, but other days, my body doesn't tell me to do that. So I listen to my body on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes I'll go eat and I'm like, I don't feel like craving water. For example, last night, I wasn't craving water, so I didn't have it. I ate my meal and I felt great. Sometimes I'm very thirsty during the meal, so I have water. And that's what works best for me. And it's different all the time. Some people, it's the same all the time. They need to have hot water with lemon in it about an hour before they go eat, and then they digest the food much better. So that's another example where you need to listen to your own body. And I don't think one is better or worse. It's just different.
Cool.